family narrative, rewriting your life narrative. We all talk about traumas and past experiences and healing from them, but we don't talk a lot about what to do next. So I'm gonna give you some things that we can do next as tools to feel better in the future, build a better life, live in the present moment without having the past to creep on us and make us feel overwhelmed with things that happened in the past. We want to be set free. We want to live a life that is good and is healthy and it's something new. It's not what we went through. So I'm going to help us go through that today. So the title of our show today is Uncorked Session 21, Rewriting the Family Narrative. So of course we're going to do our wind up today. And today we have the Chloe San Lucas Cabernet, and this is a 2019. And we gotta taste our wine, all right? So we're gonna hold the glass by the stem. I think y'all got it by now. We're gonna hold the glass by the stem, and we're gonna see it. So of course I have red wine, but it looks like plum to me. So it looks more like a plum burgundy. And then so once you see it, I need you to swirl. So swirl so that you can open up the aromas. And don't be so rough with it. Be very, very gentle. You don't want to spill on you. You don't want to waste your wine. And we spend money on wine. We don't want to waste that. So be gentle with your swirling. And then smell it. Because I want to know what you smell in yours. So smell your wine. See what fragrances you get. And mine definitely has some oak. And I also smell like maybe blackberries. But it smells good though. I'm sure it's not sweet. I'm not a sweet person anyway, but it doesn't smell like sweet, but more so very oaky. So after you smell it, just go ahead and do a sip and then kind of swoosh it in your mouth a little bit so that you can get a full taste. And this is really good. It's dry just like I like it. So I hope your wine is good as well. So let's talk about it. So let's go back to childhood, right? Let's go back to childhood trauma. So childhood traumas are things that are dangerous, scary, violent, anything that we maybe consider life-threatening. Things that happened to us when we were a child. And they were things that, were hard for us to deal with. And some examples that people go through as childhood traumas are sexual abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, loss of a parent, whether that was death or divorce or if they abandoned them. Other things are dealing with someone in your family who suffer from mental illness. Sometimes your family does not know what to do, and that person can definitely affect everybody in the household. Those are still traumas. Other things are domestic violence and addiction. And a lot of us, we grow up with family members that are close to us, that are in the same home, that deal with these issues, and we look at it as it's normal. But these things are not supposed to be normal. This is sometimes when we don't address these issues, it becomes very unhealthy for us, and we tend to think it's okay, and we allow that narrative to linger as we go about our life, when we start our own family, when the next generation comes. I've had so many clients, and I worked with CPS for a very long time before I became a therapist, maybe like 7 years. And we talked about how, a lot of people, abuse happen in the home and they overlook it. Or they say, well, we sweep it under the rug. And that's a lot in African American culture. We sweep a lot of stuff under the rug because that's what we've been known to do generations before us. But do we want to still do those things is the question. No, we want to rewrite that narrative. We want to make the family better. We want to have better generational wealth. We want to make sure all the curses are gone, and we want to live a happy and healthy life. So a lot of times in our childhood, we see things that we think are common, normal, and we bring it over into our adulthood and our life and the generations that are after us. And these are things that we should work on. So I wanted to talk about rewriting the narrative. Not just for your family. I know the title is Rewriting the Family Narrative, but also for yourself, more importantly, for you. Everybody talks about childhood trauma. They may have been molested, they may have been abused, verbally abused, emotionally abused, and emotional abuse is something that happens when our emotions are not being taken care of, or we being belittled. They're cursing us out. They're like kind of treating us badly verbally, and it's messing with our emotions. And a lot of times people think that's okay. A lot of parents, after working with CPS, I noticed that they are not emotionally available and they don't have emotional intelligence because generations before them didn't have it. So we just moving on like nothing happened. We're serving people as like nothing happened, and we are hurting them. Well, they were hurting us, and they thought it was okay because their parents hurt them. And sometimes I've learned that some parents they want to help, they want to change, but they don't know how, right? And so we want to kind of change that. Hey family, before we continue with the show, I just wanted to say that if you all have a wine that you want us to try, if you want to sponsor wine therapy, my information is in the show notes. Also, if you have a topic or something that you want us to talk about and discuss that centers around mental health and life topics, please let us know. So all of my information is in the show notes, and we hope to hear from you soon. All right, so rewriting the narrative is not forgetting what happened. That's not what we're trying to do. We have to be understanding of what realistically happened. So it's not trying to forget about it or pretend it didn't happen. It's not even ignoring it happened. But rewriting the narrative is empowering, and it gives about development and personal growth, and it helps us with a choice. We have a choice on what our life is going to be like. My choice is I can live the same way that my family did, or I can change it and be better. And this is when we look for the help or the healing that we wanted in our childhood. What we look for is what we become, and especially to those around us. So whatever that change was that you wanted, that things that didn't serve you in your childhood, how about we rewrite the narrative so that you can be the change that your family needs, so you can break the generational curses. So let's hypothetically think like a lot of us have healed, right? We healed from the emotional abuse, we've healed from the physical, we healed from what the trauma was, but we don't know what to do after healing. And what I have seen with people is that they feel like their identity is stuck in their trauma. Your identity is not stuck in your trauma. You're more than what your trauma was to you. You can heal from that, break from that, and you're not tied to that as that, oh, that's who I am. I'm the girl who was abused. I'm the girl who was verbally abused, physically abused. I'm the girl who my parent left me. You are not tied to the identity of your trauma. Your identity is what we're going to rewrite today. So who you want to be. It's a choice. The way I move with my family, the way I bond with my family, how I do the roles, traditional roles, however they look with my family, these are choices that I'm going to make. And I'm not going to handle things the way my parents handled them, my auntie, my uncle, my grandparents. We're no longer handling them that way. We're going to rewrite those things. So let me give you some steps, because I want us to start moving forward and not just being stuck and healed. Let's go past that. So the first thing we're going to do is identify the key things that happened. What happened? What are some key things that affected you negatively growing up? Let's identify those. Write them down. What are some specific events that happened? Did my mama walk out on me? Did my daddy leave me? Was he an absent father? Because there are things called father wounds, and we all know that, but you also can have a mother wound. Did that happen? What did my brother deal with mental illness and we didn't know how to deal with it, so everybody was affected by it? Did we have what they call it, kissing cousins? And I heard that recently that people are okay with that. So did these things happen to you? What are the key concepts? After we figure those things out, the next thing is to list the benefit of the experience. What did you learn from it? And I don't want people to say that I didn't learn anything from my trauma. Everything we go through, we can learn from it. Whether it's how to set boundaries around yourself to keep you safe, how it's to protect those that are vulnerable like you were. What did I learn from this situation? From those key steps from those specific events that happened, what did you learn from them? What was the benefit of what you went through? Right? So I want everybody to kind of think about that and reflect on that. The next thing is to think about the cause. What was the cause? What happened? Did somebody leave you alone? Did your parents not know how to deal with their anger? Did they, go too hard on did they go too hard on the discipline? What happened? What was the cause of this? Because a lot of times, when things are not addressed, I've seen it in my adolescence where they blame themselves. So people start blaming themselves for what happened to them. It's not your fault. What happened to you had nothing to do with you. It is not your fault. That was a choice that they made. So I don't want you to leave today or any day saying, well, it's because of me. Maybe I was naive. Maybe I was gullible. Well, maybe I deserved that because my mom said I was stupid and I did do that wrong. So maybe I deserved that. So what was the cause? And take it off of you. Take it off of you today. And we're no longer leaving with trauma and we're putting it on ourselves as though we were the cause. We're leaving that behind. So what was the cause? What was the true cause? Let's be honest. And the last thing to do is just, kind of see how these experiences shaped you. Who are you today? Who are you today? Like, what strengths do you have after this happened? What qualities do you have? How do you identify you today? So these are some of the steps we do. And the next thing I want you to do is just write down what the rest of your life will be like. What choices are you going to make that's going to be different? How will your family benefit from what you went through that they don't have to go through? How can you help somebody from the experience you went through? We don't have to live in a generational cycle of abuse, emotional neglect, abandonment, all kind of wounds. We don't have to live in that. We don't have to live in the cycle of mental illness that's untreated, especially in the African American community. We have all the resources that are available to us for us to address the issues and fix them. There's such thing called psychiatric hospitals, psychiatrists, therapists. You have family sessions, individual sessions, group sessions. We have all of these resources. And with the resources they're provided, you have your own ethnicity up here helping you. Like, we're here. So you can't, it's really not any excuse anymore. Now it's your time to really put in the work to move forward. It's time for us to rewrite what my family looked like. This is how my family would be. If this happens, will I be the parent that goes with the dad? Like, if something happened to me, and is my mom gonna side with the man, or is it gonna side with me? What kind of parent are you gonna be? How did that affect you? If drinking, if your mom was a dad was an alcoholic, and you understand that they were unavailable in every way, and maybe sometimes when people drink, they get aggressive. So were you affected by their aggressiveness? Are we gonna keep being that way? Do we want to bring that into our childhood because we thought it was okay in ours? Do you want to bring that into your new family thing because it was okay in your, childhood, the way you came up? No. So we're rewriting it. What are those things that happened? What did you learn from it? What was the cause? And how did it shape you into the person you are today? What is your life like in the future and the present moment? What can you do today to change your traumas, to change what you went through? What is it that you can do? You have the power to heal, you have the power to change, and you have the power to, whatever you foresee yourself being, you have the power to become that. You no longer have to be in the past at all. So I noticed that we talk a lot about healing. We don't talk a lot about what we do after that. We rewrite the narrative and we walk in what we write. Writing is very, very, very powerful. Writing it, saying it, really having affirmations behind who you are as a person. Knowing that your identity is not tied into your trauma. You're a better person today than you was before. You're stronger. You're not vulnerable. You are empowered now. What you go through, you can take it and find some strength in that. Everything that we go through, we don't have to throw the pity party, or we don't have to be down on ourselves about what we went through or blame myself. I went through this and I'm a better person because of this. I learned this, and this, and I'm going to move this way with my future in my life. My present will be different. So I hope that this show was very helpful. It's not, too much that we can say when it comes to rewriting the narrative, because it's all about how you want the family line to be. It's all about how you want your family to be. This is your choice. This is something that you have to do. So, and I know you can do it. I've given you the tools, and I can give you more tools. If you wanna talk about it some more, you got my information in the show notes. Like, I'm more than open to talk to you about it, because we do get stuck after healing. Some people, and we feel like, well, it's over with, and what do I do now? But now we rewrite what it looks like, what your future would be like. What ideas do you have for yourself? How do you want your family line to end? It takes one person to change it. I promise you, one person. And you can be that person to make your whole life better, your whole family better, and generations to come after you. I was a first generation college student. I went all the way to get my doctorate. I first one to get married out of my siblings. Have so many first time things, first business owner. And I can see that my nephews are following behind me, and then my children and my children's children after that. So it takes one person, but it's a choice. I didn't want to grow up the way I did. I didn't want to drink as much. I didn't want to become an alcoholic. I didn't let any kind of depression, anxiety, anything go unaddressed. I didn't do that. I decided that I wanted better. And it's not to put down on anybody that's in your family. This is your change to help somebody that's in your family right now. Them seeing you make a step, and you rewriting, and you addressing everything, helps them to be motivated to do the same. It empowers them. Like, if she can do it, I can do it. And that's what I feel like my family is saying. If she can do it, I can do it. So I want you to remember that too. So I hope that this show was helpful. I love y'all. If you need anything, let me know, because a lot what we talk about on wine therapy is very tough. It's pulling from your heart, it's tugging on you emotionally, but it is to help you be better. These are conversations that we don't like to have. We avoid them. We feel like it's just too much. It's uncommon, but we want to make these common. So until next time. Hey family, I just wanted to thank you so much for tuning in today, and I hope that you enjoyed the show and that you now begin to rewrite your story. Remember to share and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Sharing is caring, and we want everybody to get their help. So we hope to see you next time.